This is the Highly Sensitive Club, episode number 26.
Have you been told you are too sensitive, too dramatic, or too much? Do you have big feelings and deep thoughts you don't always know what to do with? I'm Stephanie Lynn, a certified life coach and highly sensitive person. I've helped dozens of highly sensitive clients feel more energized, more confident, and more in control of their high sensitivity. In these episodes, you'll get the information and inspiration to level up your life as a highly sensitive person too. Welcome to the Highly Sensitive Club.
Hello, my dear highly sensitive person, and welcome to this week's episode of the Highly Sensitive Club. I am having one of those weeks due to my thinking, because it's always about your thinking, where I am just in love with coaching. I just love it so much. I am loving my clients. I'm loving the conversations we're having. I'm loving the networking and the connections and the relationships that I'm building with other people. I have new guests coming up on the podcast. I've been working with my mentees in my coaching program, and I just got off a great practice call today. They have been learning so much. I've been learning so much. The more I explain this stuff, the more I teach it, just the more I fall in love with it. And I've been really, really leaning into my group coaching programs too. I just love coaching so much, and I believe in it so much. And recently I was having a conversation with someone for the first time. We were having a nice coffee networking chat, and I realized something kind of big that I thought would be helpful for you. And I realized that I have gotten to a place now where there is very little that I take personally. I don't get upset about things as easily as I used to. Occasionally, I do still have those moments where I get a little defensive or I make something about me where it's not about me at all. But overall, I really don't get offended and I really don't take things personally. And this was by design. I intended to feel this way. I intended not to take things personally or to get offended. I have been working on it steadily since getting into coaching, and I just thought that was never available to me. First of all, it was hard to grasp, but second of all, I didn't even think that it was possible. So today I want to talk to you about how to stop taking things personally and how to stop being offended. This is very crucial for you, highly sensitive person, because I know that you are feeling things incredibly deeply. You are a deep processor and you have a very vivid and active imagination. So not only are you probably living in the past and going over past arguments and things that you rather would have said and ways that you would respond to that person or that situation now, but you're also probably doing a lot of shadow boxing, the forecasting of a conversation you're going to have and trying to anticipate all of the things the other person is going to say so that you can have a response to all of them and you can argue your way and you can be right and you can feel good about yourself. And oftentimes you're doing this because you're afraid of what the other person is going to think or what they're going to say and how that's going to affect you. Here's the good news. You are always the one who is affecting you. What someone says is about them, and what you hear is about you. Let me repeat that because this is a new one for a lot of people. What someone says is about them. What you hear is about you. Every time I have said this to clients, they're like, what? This is the mind blown expression. If you're not watching this on video and you're only listening to the audio, this is big because a lot of times we cause ourselves a lot of harm and a lot of pain and a lot of hurt because what we hear someone say is very different from what they actually said, and how we interpret the words that they said causes the feelings that we feel. Because we have very distinct thoughts and opinions about how things should be said, who should be saying them, what the words are, the tone, the body language, the delivery, etc., etc. The problem is, we cannot control how other people think and feel, which I have come to believe is ultimately such a beautiful thing. Free will is an excellent thing, and we want people to think and feel their own thoughts and feelings. And we also want for us to be completely immune for all intents and purposes to what other people are doing. And I know that this feels really hard for you, HSP, because you probably pick up on other people's emotions all the time and carry them around with you. You probably relive old conflicts and arguments over and over again. Any embarrassing moment sticks in your brain particularly strongly because your brain is like, never do anything like that again. It was so scary and we're never going to survive and we're going to die if it happens again. I say this very dramatically because, first of all, I think it's funny and humorous. And also because our brains really do live in that zone. They think you are going to get kicked out of the tribe and you are going to be on your own and you're going to die if you embarrass yourself again. So we have to make sure that we don't embarrass ourselves ever again. The problem is we have no idea what other people are thinking and feeling about us, or if they're even remembering things the way we are. We have complete control over our perceptions and our interpretations over things that happen to us. Here is an example in a story that I was sharing at my networking chat that really led me to this conclusion and why I really wanted to talk about it to you today. About 10 years ago, before I got really heavily into therapy and self-development and having my big Phoenix moment where I just overhauled my whole life, I was basically a chameleon. I didn't have a good sense of who I was. I had no idea what I wanted. It felt very difficult to decide. I was constantly being persuaded and moved and swayed by other people and their opinions, and I really didn't know who I was or how to trust myself. Now, this might sound very strange because when I get on a podcast episode, I have heard from a lot of people that I sound very confident. I sound very comfortable. And that seems very at odds with this picture that I tell people about who I was in my teens and in my 20s. It was almost like I was a mirror for a long time. I learned how to reflect what the person I was with expected of me. Now, as a highly sensitive person, you probably have perfected this skill as well. You're really good on picking up at on other people's moods. If you ever felt scared or insecure when you were growing up, you probably learned to tell very quickly what the people around you were feeling and how to make them feel better so that you would feel safe. This is a very common, normal, understandable thing for a child to do, especially a child who's hypervigilant and very aware of their surroundings and the people around them. This is just how our highly sensitive brains often cope with the amount of information that we're taking in and not knowing how to ask for the kind of support that we need and that we can learn to have as an adult. The term itself was only created about 30 years ago. So it certainly wasn't something that could be incorporated into parenting. A lot of us learn this skill of turning into that chameleon and mirroring back whatever the people around us want us to be, or what we think that they want us to be in order to feel safe, in order to feel loved, in order to be accepted. Now, this is coming from a childhood brain. This could be your 5-year-old self or your 6-year-old self or your 7 or 8 or 9 or 10-year-old self who has created this basis for how you're showing up in the world. And you might not have questioned it because you thought that this is just the way it is. It's not just the way it is. You have so many other options. And that's why I wanted to share this with you today, that even though I was one of those people who completely morphed myself into whoever I thought I was supposed to be for the person I was with, I was able to tap back into my internal sense of being. I was able to learn about my own boundaries, my own preferences, my own desires. And I have, through the years, been able to get better and better at just stepping into more of who I am every single day. Therapy was very crucial in this whole process for me, but honestly, coaching is what has really helped me take it to the next level over the last couple of years and why I'm so passionate about sharing this with my clients. I know that you are probably overthinking, overprocessing, and overstimulating yourself constantly, which is creating a lot of decision fatigue, and a lot of analysis paralysis, and a lot of feeling stuck because you are getting in your own way. You are picking up on other people's emotions and soaking them up like a sponge and then carrying them around with you like a dark cloud for hours or days or weeks at a time, sometimes even years. It colors your relationship with other people. I know that you have this rich inner world, and sometimes that rich inner world can work against you because your brain is trained to avoid pain and to avoid scary things, and your highly sensitive brain gets very fixated on the things that scared us or embarrassed us or hurt us in the past so that we cannot do them in the future. The problem is that is not how you grow. When you are overthinking, when you're soaking up other people's emotions, when you're caught up in the past and all of your fears about who you're supposed to be, you end up creating this like persona of who you are. Here is what's possible for you. You can, like me, learn how to separate your emotions from other people and to be aware. Your empathy is not a bad thing. It's okay to be empathetic, but you don't have to keep it in your body. You don't have to store it. You can give back other people's emotions, and you don't have to feel anyone else's but your own. You can actually develop that skill of using your empathy to become aware of other people's emotions without having to take them on and feel them yourself. Or if you do, to be able to release them very, very quickly so that you can go on with your day and go on with your life. If you are used to overthinking and going through thought loops over and over again and swirling around the same experiences and the same thoughts and the same habitual beliefs, you can get out of those. You have the ability and a very powerful processor, your brain, to be able to make new thoughts and new beliefs about yourself and about other people. Every single one of my relationships has changed by me changing my mindset so that I don't take things personally and I don't get offended. And here's how this looks. Previously, if a family member would have told me that they had some kind of drama, for instance, or they were feeling upset about something, or they were feeling sad about something, it would make me feel so uncomfortable for them to be sad or angry or upset that I would try to gloss over their feelings. I would try to instantly make them feel better. I would give them glib or trite comments like, this is just temporary, or it's just going to be fine, hoping that they'll feel better without actually allowing space and time for the problem, or to be present with them, which is sometimes the only thing that they really need. I was constantly trying to change my family members' feelings so that they would feel better because I was the one who couldn't deal with my own discomfort at them feeling away. With my romantic partners, anytime they expressed any kind of disappointment or frustration or anger, I would automatically turn around and think, oh my gosh, what did I do? What can I do differently? How can I make this better? It was never about me. In fact, my partners have even said it has nothing to do with you. Don't worry about it. I'm going to be fine. But I really took it personally. And I was so freaked out anytime they had any kind of negative or uncomfortable for me emotions. In my friendships, if a friend was uncomfortable or they were hurt or they stopped responding, I would make it personal and try to people please. And I would go too far in the other direction. I would become very ingratiating and very complimentary and reach out to them and try to quote unquote make up for something. I really felt like I owed them something because I was doing something wrong if they were feeling a certain way. I constantly took on the responsibility for other people's emotions and other people's experience and made it about me. This also brought up a lot of judgments, which created a lot of offense, meaning I took offense at other people acting a way that I didn't think they should act. So I was keeping myself so strict and tight around what I was doing because I thought I was supposed to be following everybody else's rules and dictates. Anytime anybody else deviated from my rules or my standards, oh my gosh, I judged them so hard because I judged myself so hard. So I was very easily offended. Anytime anybody did anything even remotely not nice to me, it could ruin my day. Someone makes a rude gesture on the highway and I would think about it for hours and hours and hours, even if I had done absolutely nothing wrong. I had this thought in my head like, they shouldn't have treated me that way. That's so rude. I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they said that. I can't believe they sped around me like that. I can't believe someone is in this lane when they're not supposed to be there. I made myself the arbiter of what I thought was right and wrong, and this caused so many problems. This got to the point even that in my romantic relationships, I actually started fights because of the way I was interpreting completely normal, completely well-intentioned words that brought up feelings in me because of my thoughts that I wasn't being enough or I wasn't doing enough. Does any of this sound familiar to you? I bet, because everybody experiences things like this, but as a highly sensitive person, the intensity just ratchets up. And the longer you stay with these thoughts and the longer you keep these habits, the more intense it gets and the more it feels like your whole life is just overwhelming. You don't know how to go through your day because you don't know any other way to be. Here's the good news. You can change your thoughts every single day to make this better. This is the power of coaching. This is why I'm so in love with it. I have completely changed my entire life and how I show up to everything because I have changed my thoughts and I have tried on new thoughts and new beliefs and practiced thinking them over and over and over again until I feel in my bones, in my body, the way that I want to feel. Here's what this sounds like. If a family member was telling me that they were very upset, if before I thought, oh my gosh, I need to make them feel better, I think it's okay for them to be upset. It's okay for them to be frustrated. It's okay for them not to feel pleasant right now. I also think it's not my responsibility to make them feel better. I show that I care by being present with them. I don't need to fix anything. I don't need to fix them. I don't need to fix me. Nothing has gone wrong. These are just a few of the thoughts that I'm thinking now, and I have learned not to take it personally by thinking these thoughts. In my romantic relationships, when one of my partners is not feeling great and they are having a bad day or they're really struggling with something, whereas I used to think, oh my gosh, I need to make them feel better. What can I do? I'm worried about them. Oh my, why are they getting so upset about this? It's going to pass. Now I think it's okay that they're having a bad day. I know that it's going to pass. Instead of telling them, this is just temporary, it's just going to pass, I tell myself that because I was really the one who needed the comfort all along. It was never about them, it was about me and my thoughts. And it's okay to acknowledge that if your partner or your kids or your family member is not being in a way that you would like, it's okay. You can tell yourself that's only temporary. They're going to be in a better mood later. They're going to figure it out. They are perfectly capable of handling themselves. It's okay that they're struggling a little bit. That's part of being human. I want them to be able to feel the full range of their emotions and their expression in this life. These are new thoughts that I am currently thinking. When I was first starting out, I would think thoughts like, this has nothing to do with me. It's not about me. I don't have to do anything about this. He's not mad at me. It has nothing to do with me. Sometimes that neutral thought is way more helpful than the positive thoughts that you get down the road. You have to go through neutral before you can get to that positive. It has nothing to do with me. It's okay. In friendships, the same thing happened. If somebody feels a way, or if I start to have judgments or opinions about them, the only one who's suffering is me. The only one who's taking it personally and getting offended is me. My job is to think new thoughts like, they've got it. They're going to be okay. This is part of their journey. I don't have to do anything but love them and be here for them. I can totally listen without having to do anything about it. I do not have to fix them. They're not broken. Nothing has gone wrong. They are totally capable of figuring this out, and I believe in them. See how different those thoughts feel than, oh my gosh, I just need them to feel better. I wish it wasn't so hard. I wish I could take this away from them. You're taking away a lot of their power when you think, oh, I wish I could just change the situation for them, because we all have to face challenges. And if you take away every challenge for someone else, you're taking away their opportunity to grow and to learn, which I also know is very important to you, HSP. I used to have terrible, terrible road rage. And as I mentioned, anytime somebody did something on the road that I disagree with, I took it very personally and I judged very hard. And now when I'm on the road, I practice new thoughts, especially when someone would get pulled over, for instance. I used to get this like vindictive glee, like, ha, serves you right. Shouldn't have passed me, or whatever it was. And now I think, I'm so sorry that happened. I'm sorry you got pulled over. That really sucks. Anytime somebody's in an accident, I hope they're okay. I really hope that everybody's safe. I hope that everybody came out of that okay. I hope that they're going to be okay. I hope that they can afford the repairs. I hope that nobody's seriously injured. You just send so much love and care to people. If somebody zooms past me and cuts me off, the first thing I think now is, please be safe on your way to wherever you're going. This makes me feel so much better than thinking, what the F, this person, I can't believe them. That is so rude. Can't believe they just sped past me like that and cut me off. I'm driving, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. They're doing it wrong. None of those thoughts helped me, and they made me angry and very offended all the time. My new thoughts, I hope you get where you're getting safely. Let me just get out of your way and then we can both be happy. These thoughts serve me so much better. If you are in a situation where you are easily offended or taking things personally, or you're reading into things and you feel like other people are judging you, or other people think that you're not enough or that you're not worthy, I want you to examine this, because it is probably coming from you. It's coming directly from your brain and your thoughts, trying to protect you, trying to keep you safe, trying not to repeat mistakes and patterns of the past. And ultimately, what it does by trying to avoid that hurt is continue to bring up that hurt over and over and over again until you get stuck in it. You do not have to live that way. You, as a highly sensitive person, can become someone who does not take things personally and does not get offended. This is your opportunity to change who you are being, change the way that you're showing up into the world, and to become the person that you were meant to be. Because you, my dear highly sensitive person, are so valuable. You have so much to offer. You are worthy of love exactly as you are. Nothing has gone wrong. Nothing is broken. There is nothing wrong with you. You're not too much. You're not too dramatic. You're not too sensitive. You have the ability to bring so many gifts into this world. You have so much to offer. And when you can stop taking things personally and stop getting offended, you will be able to channel all of that value and all of that worthiness and all of those gifts into the things that you truly want instead of spinning your wheels, getting in your own way. I hope this episode was helpful for you. And if you want to know more, you can always go to stephanielynn.com and book a call with me. If this resonates with you and you're like, I don't know how to do that, I'm hearing this whole episode and like it still doesn't make sense to me, book a consultation call with me. I can absolutely help you figure out what is standing in your way, where you want to go, because let me tell you, life is so much better when you aren't judging people all the time, when you're not judging yourself all the time, when you're not taking everything to mean that there's something wrong with you or that you've done something wrong or that you need to do something different. It's such a waste of your precious energy. And when you can rechannel and refocus that energy into the things that you want, you make incredible things happen. Now, here's the other thing too. You can always book a consultation call with me. But if you are holding on to old conflicts, old relationships, energy that is just feeling very stagnant in your body, and you want a way that you can help yourself right now, you can go to my website, stephanielynn.com/closing. This is my free closing ritual workshop that really created some shifts and some beautiful movement for my workshop participants. And I still go back and I use this frequently. It helps me close out old projects. It helps me close out old relationships. And it will help you start to let go of some of those emotions that you might have sponged up and kept with you that are stuck in your body and stuck in your brain, so that you can let them go and you can start this process. This is a completely free workshop. So again, go to stephanielynn.com/closing so you can access the workshop and start to close out some of that old energy, start to shift into the positive by going through neutral first, and your whole life will change. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode, and I will see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening. If you're ready to take what you learned today to the next level, head over to stephanielynn, that's LINN.com, and book a consultation call to get started. I can't wait to see you there, my dear HSP.